Well, hello and welcome to this midday market mood check with me, Nandita Khimka, and my colleague Yatin Mota. Well, Yatin, we started off on a fairly strong note, but most of the gains have fizzled out. After reclaiming that 17,200 mark, we are now just about hovering around that 17,100 mark. But almost all the sectors are gaining in today's session, led by the metals basket. That index was up somewhere around 2% or so. In fact, even the realty pack is doing well. And a lot of these pharma names are also doing much better in today's session. Remember, the pharma index had hit a 2-year low in yesterday's session. So aside of that, if you look at the top nifty gainers, you have Asian Paints, Tata Steel, Kotak Bank, Titan is up once again as gold prices. In fact, international gold prices have, once again back above that 1900 per dollars per ounce mark. Among the top nifty losers, we have Airtel, HUL, Nestle. So FMCG as a pack is under pressure today. SBI Life, ONGC are some of the other nifty losers. Yatin, let's talk about the plan that Jio has come out. Family plan starting at 399 rupees and 699 rupees. So, I don't know. Airtel is among the top losers on the index today. Is there a connection? How is it working?
No, not a connection as such, Nandita, but yes, Reliance has increased the entry level tariff plans for the postpaid users, but obviously they are giving better data, better package, and they are bringing all the plans at par with what Airtel and Vodafone already are offering.
Okay.
So yes, there is increase in the tariffs of postpaid by Reliance, but that is basically the entry level plans.
Okay.
But there could be some sentimental impact, but good thing for the telecom industry as such,
Yeah.
because the entry level tariffs, both Airtel at the prepaid level and Jio at the postpaid level,
Will
are coming at par with each
So it
other.
will boost the average revenue per user for these telecom giants, right? Aside of that, a lot of stocks in news today. LTI Mindtrees one was up quite a bit in today's session. They had an analyst meet where they said that the merged entity,
The
could
integration
see
is complete.
complete, and the revenue realization of $1 billion is something that the company is expecting from the merged entity. In fact, PVR is also in focus. The company is planning to add 200 screens every year.
Yeah.
And they say the merger, in fact, synergies will be realized with Inox in the next 12 to 24 months. Aside of that, if you look at some of the top Nifty 500 users, Olectra is one stock that was among the top Nifty 500 users. It was down somewhere around 6%. And even the Adani group of stocks, Adani Transmission and Adani Total Gas, were among the top Nifty 500 users. KPIT Tech is another stock in focus. It's gaining on the back of a partnership with Honda. Would you like to throw some light on that?
So I think KPI Tech is one company which is into the electrification of cars and automobiles. Also, they plan softwares and a lot of things to do with the car connectivity and the car smartness.
Hmm.
So clearly, when it comes to electrification, integration, and new technologies, KPIT has that advantage. And yes, the new partnership also brings some new business on the table. But Nandita, one more auto stock which is in focus, that is Maruti Suzuki.
Right.
The promoter Suzuki Motors bought 300 crores worth of share in the last 3-4 trading sessions, and I think in a big span of 4-5 years at least, this is the first time when Suzuki is going with the purchases of Maruti Suzuki. Stock opened 2% higher, but right now is up 1%. But yes, this is a big signaling that Suzuki really wants to hike the stake in Maruti.
Yeah.
They are now a little over 56% in terms of holding. Not a big change in shareholding pattern, but yes, in terms of value, 300 crores of shares is something big, and we'll watch out for if Suzuki really buys another tranche of Maruti Suzuki shares here in the local market.
Right, so Sona, since we are talking about the automotive segment, Sona BLW is again in focus because Jeffries has initiated, coverage on the stock with the buy rating. In fact, this has come after Blackstone has exited its stake. Of course, that story was broken by you, and then a lot of long-term investors have picked up stake in the company. So there is a lot of optimism when it comes to Sona BLW. Yatin, aside, like we've spoken about all the movers and shakers in today's session, but what we'll need to watch out for is the fact that whether or not we will be able to sustain or hold on to these gains in the second part of the session, because even yesterday we started off pretty strong, and then we by the end of the day we fizzled out, in fact, and we even gave up that 17,000 mark at one point of time. So we will have to see whether or not this up move has any legs to sustain in the second half.
Correct.
And aside of that, of course, all eyes will be on the Federal Reserve meeting that's happening next week. So the outcome will be here for us to analyze whether the Fed goes for a 25
And,
basis
and,
point rate
and
hike.
today UK also presents their
Yeah.
budget.
Yeah.
So the UK finance minister will start speaking somewhere 6 p.m. India time in the British Parliament. So yes, we'll watch
Yeah,
out
we'll
for that
watch out
because
for that.
Tata Motors, Tata Steel, a
Yeah.
whole host of Indian companies
Yeah.
which have a UK exposure
Hmm.
will be watched out for after this budget comes. After Rishi Sunak took over
Yeah.
as PM, and there is some global financial crisis sorts which is brewing in the West.
So, well, we'll be watching out for all that. But, stay tuned to Money Control because coming up next is an exclusive interaction with Adrian Nowat, who will share his views on India, on what he expects from the Fed, and of course, the entire, Silicon Valley Bank crisis. So, stay tuned for that. That's coming up right after this midday mood check. But for now, from me and Yatin, it's a goodbye. And stay tuned. Coming up next is a big exclusive interview.